I recently watched a video from Comics by Perch, wherein he discusses DC's point-of-sale tracking that was published on ICV2's website. So being extremely intrigued to look at the actual numbers and statistics done on some of these recent comic book sales, I went ahead and did some research for myself, and my god, he was not lying. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Max, and today we are discussing ICV2's top 50 comics reported for December 2021 and how this affects DC Comics. So like I mentioned previously in the intro, these comic sales are reported on from the point of sale tracking, meaning these numbers are not how many comics were printed, not how many comics were sent to retailers and comic shops, but exactly how many comics were sold to the actual customer. Now, there are three people that tend to buy comics right now. Number one being the collector, who has to have every issue of a particular series, character, writer, etc. These people tend to be completionists, but not necessarily readers. Then you have number two, the speculator. People who buy 10 to 20 copies of a book to flip on the secondary market like eBay or Instagram. These people do not read these comics. There are a few exceptions to this, but for the most part, the speculators are more interested in turning a profit than reading the actual book. And number three, the reader. Pretty self-explanatory. They buy the comic because they enjoy the story and they want to read more. Enough said. I mention these types of customers because I think it's important to keep in mind as I go over these sales numbers and comic book titles in the top 50 sold. Just as a little disclaimer, these numbers are not perfect by any means, and they do not represent every single comic shop in America. So if you want more information or want to check these statistics for yourself, I have placed the link to the article in the description below. Alright, now let's get into this thing. Out of the top 50 books reported at the point of sale purchase, only 16 of those were published by DC.
That's very bad news, Jack, and I hope you guys make a better decision next time.
And out of that 16, only 2 were not Batman or Batman-related books.
Well, I don't know what I expected.
That is insane. That means that only 2 books out of the top 50 sold were DC books that did not involve Batman in any way or fashion. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but that doesn't seem very diverse. I mean, after all the constant marketing of Future State and the continual push for all these diverse characters, I have to ask, where are they? News articles, media outlets, and pages like Twitter and Instagram make it seem like these comics are flying off the shelf. Yet Yara Flor, the Hispanic female counterpart to Wonder Woman, was cancelled only after 7 issues. The black and bisexual Aquaman is nowhere to be found. Bisexual John Kent Superman, who is literally the talking point of the year, isn't selling. And even out of all these Batman titles, Jace Fox, who has his own series and is now the African-American Batman, is still not on this list. And by the way, this isn't me saying go woke, go broke. It's not that simple, and it's not that great of an example, because Batman has tons of woke ideology in its books. This goes far beyond that. I'm talking about the deconstruction of basic structural integrity of character arc and storytelling mixed with virtue signaling and weaponization of fans' concerns. That is why these books are not selling, and the numbers speak for themselves.
The way they are going about this conversation is all wrong, and to sort of like take out the foundation of the thing and like yank it out and be very, no, you don't get any of that, bad boy, for wanting it. It's such folly. As a kid,
it's narcissism. It boils down to narcissism, Jesse. It's I'm not going to give you what you want. This is all about what I want it to be, not what you, the person paying for it, wants it to be. I'm going to force what I want down your throat. You're going to like it, or I'm going to call you names.
Now, not only are these statistics a shocking revelation, but it's a horrifying one as well. Because let's think about it this way. What happens to DC if their Batman books stop selling? It essentially means that DC would be dead in the water.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
So with this information, how is DC going to respond? Are they going to start publishing even more Batman books? For some people, that's going to be their wet dream, but in my opinion, it would only make things worse and would completely oversaturate the market to the point of exhaustion.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I actually did a video about this exact topic a few months back, so if you do want to see that, you can take a look at that here. But like I said, it seems like DC has put all their eggs in one basket, and I'm interested to see where they go from here. So what were those other two books that weren't Batman that I had mentioned, you might ask? Coming in at number 15 for DC and number 40 overall was Wonder Woman Historia, written by none other than our very own Kelly Sue DeConnick.
And if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book.
And with our last slot at number 16 for DC and 48th overall was Justice League Incarnate. Not Justice League, the ongoing title, Justice League Incarnate. Now, it is worthy to note that both of these books, Wonder Woman Historia and Justice League Incarnate, are mini-series. There will only be 3 issues to the Wonder Woman book and only 5 issues to the Justice League book. So what then? What happens when those books aren't being published anymore? DC will lose those titles in their best-selling list and will then be solely reliant on their Batman property. Now, there are definitely people who are watching this saying, Max, these numbers are totally insignificant and I'm not worried about this data at all. And that's totally fine. But when I look at this and when I see this article and see these statistics, it worries the absolute hell out of me. Where is Superman? Wonder Woman? Flash? Green Lantern? Aquaman? Oh. So what do y'all think? Does this sound like impending doom for DC? What do you think that we can expect from them next? Let me know in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more like it, please consider supporting me by subscribing to the channel, sharing it with others, and donating to the Stream Elements link below. Every donation goes right back into the show to provide better material, better and more frequent uploads, and overall just better production value. Another huge thank you to all my fans and subscribers for your constant love and support. I humbly say that I could not do this without you. That's all I have for now, and I will see you guys in the next video.